सध्या एक डिबेट चलता ती म्हणजे पर्यटनान वाढ झाल्या काय ना टुरिझम इज डिक्लायनिंग और टुरिझम इज इन्क्रीजिंग. आता आम्ही पळयले इन्फ्लुएन्सर्स बाकीचे लोक आम्ही जर वचून इंटरनेटार पळयल्यार म्हणटा टुरिझम इज डिक्लायनिंग. ऑन द अदर हँड तुमकां जर कलंगूट वचपाचें आसा हांगा आमी बसल्या थंयच्यान जाल्यार एटलीस्ट 3 वरां लागतलीं तुमकां, कारण इतले रस्त्यार गाडयो आनी ट्युरिस्ट दिश्टी पडटा की तेतून दिसता टुरिझम इज इन्क्रीजिंग. सरकारूय म्हणटा टुरिझम इज इन्क्रीजिंग. या सगळ्या गजाली मदीं एक दोन मनीस आसा जे आमकां क्लॅरिटी दिवपाक शकता आनी तांकां आमी सद्या स्टुडियोन आपयल्ले आसा आनी आमचे बरोबर आसा TTAGचे अध्यक्ष जॅक सुखीजा. नेवकार तुमकां. आनी निलेश शाह, ही इज फॉर्मर प्रेसिडेंट TTAG एंड रायट नाव ही इज ऑन अ टुरिझम एंड हॉस्पिटॅलिटी कमिटी ऑफ गोवा चेंबर इन कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री. सो फर्स्ट एक प्रश्न, वाडटा टुरिझम काय देंवता टुरिझम?
तर आतां तुका पयले पिरियड पळोवंक पडटलें. इफ यू टेक द फायनान्शियल ऑर द सीझन एंडेड 31st मार्च, टुरिझम वाडलां. कितलें वाडलां इज अ क्वेश्चन. पूण वाडलां. फ्लायट पळय तूं 100 फ्लायट्स पर डे कमिंग. On those numbers only there is an increase. Plus there is this many other places which are not mapped, road, rail, whatever you take it. We'll definitely say tourism is increased. But capacity I think has increased many times more. आता तूं ऑफिशियल फिगर्स पळय कितें 7,500 when I last checked were registered with tourism accommodation units. 20,000 rooms were in A and B category. These were just 400 odd hotels. Smaller hotels in C and D, which were around 7,200, had 55,000 rooms. And I'm sure there are a lot of unregistered hotels. The government is doing its bit to get them in the net. They made it very... Guest houses, villas, apartments. They खूब आहा. I think that is where there is so much capacity being created, especially after COVID, that regular players feel the pinch with that, especially below the 5-star.
So tourism वाढला काय देवला, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन हॉटेलवाल्यांक बिझनेस मेळटा काय ना हातून हें करप. हाऊ डू आय दिस इज अ क्रुशियल. काय म्हाका कळंगूट वचपा खातीर कितलो टायम लागता ताजेर करप. बिचाचेर पळयत जाल्यार उबा रावपा जागो नासता. बट इन्फ्लुएन्सर्स म्हणटा हांगा टुरिझम वाडूना म्हणून.
ना ते एक मेन म्हाका दिसता पळोवंक पडटलें तुजे टॅक्स रेवन्यूज पळयल्यार, एक्सायज आनी ते तूं पळयल्यार देर इज क्लियर ग्रोथ इन एक्सायज रेवन्यू एंड टॅक्स रेवन्यू. सो द स्टेट इज गेटिंग मनी. Now the question that remains is, are existing stakeholders benefiting? Is there enough business? I think what is happening is legacy stakeholders who have been earlier, a lot have not been able to evolve, and they are the ones, especially 2, 3, 4-star guest, 2, 3-star and guest houses, who have been affected very badly at this end.
Nilesh Bab, what is your parameter to decide whether there is increase in tourism or decline in tourism?
As President just said, definitely there is an increase in the figures. If you say excise revenue has gone up almost 900 CR plus, if I'm not mistaken. Similarly, if you
itlo काय सोरो local वाडपाना itlo.
Secondly, Jack just said about the registration is 7,500. During COVID time, when we requested to open up and make it simplified, that registration was just 3,800. So it is not that it has just been added, the number of hotels have added. They have added because the procedure became simple. So it became to 7.5 plus. And if you see daily villas are coming up, so the growth is there in that segment. So unless as an investor, unless I don't see potential, I am not going to put my money, irrespective of it may be second home, whatever it is. So let's be very, very clear, there is a growth in the industry. Now, to rightly assess the current figure which department came out, that 50 lakh tourists have come in the period of for 6 months.
Till June there.
Till June. So it's very simple. If you calculate the overall pre-COVID, Dabolim used to carry around 8.5 million tourists. Today, both put together is carrying 1.12 million tourists total. So 1 crore 20 lakh tourists. That means there is straight away growth of 25% plus. So there is a growth.
They're talking about increase in flights also, double.
That's right. So what I'm talking number of passengers itself specific. So that has grown this thing. So at peak in season they operate almost 110 flight plus on domestic. Right now presently it is low. It is around 82 to 83%. Now that is not, of course season is down. That is maybe to certain extent because airlines having their own issues. So if you see, that's why the frequency has gone down, because many of this period they go for the C check, many of the aircrafts. Air India has grounded voluntary after the incident for checking purpose. So looking into that, those challenges are there. It's that airline wants to put in more flights, but they're having aircraft issue, and that is a world over issue. It is not specific to Goa or to India. So overall, there is a sluggish because of capacity not being increasing into Goa because of the airline. But if you see, so many trains have been added. After in last 2-3 years, Vande Bharat, and there's so many trains which have been added to this. Buses also, you see the regular buses which are operating. I see that purple bus which is there. If I'm traveling in the morning somewhere on the highway, I see at least 3 to 4 buses of that guy only coming in. So they are coming from different places. Similarly, you have people coming by road also plenty. So there is definitely a growth. As Jack just said, it is very clear the smaller guys who are the traditional players in the industry have not evolved themselves, so they are suffering and their businesses have gone down.
Not evolved in the sense that the online was not booking.
No, it's not only that. What happens is today the tourist is more demanding. He is not stick to particular. He wants particular standard to increase. So what I was giving him, suppose 5 years back, now if I upgrade myself, then I want better service facilities in the hotel,
like in the room
or in
restaurant.
the restaurant. So I want myself to be little bit of better services overall. So I have to upgrade myself as a property.
Okay, so increase in tourism.
I'd just like to add a little bit to what, like Nilesh said. Earlier a lot of these 2-3 stars they were on the low end charter segment, and these guests were basically looking for a clean room close to the beach and the sun. ते आता ते एकदम कमी झालं. That is 50% of what it was of COVID. And they have not been able to evolve to satisfy the Indian customer, who is much more demanding now. When he goes on a holiday, he expects better facilities in his hotels.
Also, it is a notion that number of international tourists reducing compared to pre-COVID is calculated as a slump in tourism.
I don't think so.
Overall, खूप फावटे arguments म्हणता की number of chartered flights have gone down. So ideally, that should not be a parameter to
see what has happened is all across India, the inbound market has not recovered. It is 75 to 80% of what it used to be earlier. In Goa, it is around 80% or 85%. So that when you talk of inbound tourists, yes, there is a decline, but our government is, for various reasons, even at the center, has taken the stand that we will do this Dekho Apna Desh and capture a domestic market, which everyone else is going after. So yes, inbound tourism has come down. Traditionally, markets which were dependent on inbound tourists and who have not been able to evolve to cater to the domestic traveler have suffered.
Okay, now this entire perception which is created by influencers, that tourists, there is a decline. Okay, first of all, you don't agree to that?
No, actually, I was just talking to one of the top guys in the airline and airport industry today morning. So, one of the logics which he gave me, which you may agree, may not agree. These influencers are expected to be pampered everywhere. Okay, so suppose if they are going to any of the hotels in North Goa or anywhere, now if Goa is not doing well, just for admitting, now they have started charging a cover charges. Means if once you enter, you have to pay X amount, which goes up to between 2,500 per person, or it can go up to even 10 to 15,000 rupees per person. Okay. Now, if you are not well treated there, so that means Goa is doing badly. That was one of the things. Secondly, because of that type of customers also which are coming in, they are ready to remain vacant, but they are not ready to take in the crowd unless you are ready to pay. So that also is, so it is like, how the market is evolving. And, as time comes, everybody will start. Like, I will give you the example. I will not name the star hotels. Now, the star hotels, which were charging, suppose, in the season time, 35,000, 40,000 rupees. Right now, they are charging on the same thing at 1/3 price. So, it is the demand is low. So, they have reduced the price.
There was also in monsoon, the rates are
But 1/3. Even if it is going down,
it won't come.
It is 15%, 20%. So demand is low. So everybody is working on the dynamic pricing. Like airlines are working on dynamic pricing. Even hotels are working on dynamic pricing. So ultimately, once you reduce the price, automatically tourists is attracted, and when today the facility is such with the online thing, you just check it up which destination you are finding good value, you just go through it. So definitely, if you see in month of August, there is a lot of course holidays are there, but lot of tourists are going up, and even airlines are adding the frequency.
Enough said. Enough said, let's end so drinking in the rhythm, what you're feeling is the vibe. About to make a drink and wanna race it to the tribe. Minutes is the time when I'm drinking in the ride. Enough said, let's end so join the tribe. Enough said. Never see me cause I'm racing against the time. Wanna hear you scream. Never see me cause I'm taking what is mine. This your time now,
Okay, now who's to be blamed for the entire concept that Goa is a very expensive destination? Are you blaming yourself being a industry which represents hotels? Should we blame restaurants? Should we blame taxis? Should we blame flights? Of whom to blame?
See, there are two ways of looking at this cachet of expensive destinations. You compare Goa to Europe, there's some high-end NRIs who came from Dubai for a meet or from the Middle East for a meet with the same. They said, oh, we find great value here. We are at 60% of the price of Europe. Even Puneet Chatwal has said at a 5-star here delivers more value at 50% of the price of what you will get in Europe. When you go to Southeast Asia, for various reasons, they are more competitive. We are like, I think, 30% or 20% more expensive than them. So when you say Goa is expensive, the private sector always responds to market trends. Where the market can absorb that price, it will come. Otherwise, it will come down to it. Both flights as well as hotels. At the end, if it's a perishable inventory, if I don't sell a hotel room or I don't sell a airline seat, I'm losing money.
Correct.
So
that's why there is dynamic pricing.
That's why there's dynamic pricing, and that is there everywhere. Today there's some climate summit happening in Brazil, in Belém. The prices have gone down to $1,500 a night. Where what was that, $100? So it's a worldwide trend. It's not fair to say only Goa will do it. But so Goa being an expensive destination may be a perception. Maybe if there's a slump in the market, the private sector will correct. But there are some structural issues in Goa which the government needs to take a look at. And I'm not blaming the government only on this. One is you need to have competition in every sector. We see in the tourist taxi business today, there is no competition. There is no alternative, right? There's a monopoly with that taxi counter. Okay, even if you're keeping a monopoly, at least put a transparent price out. This is the price, it closes. Second thing is that Goa had a natural beauty to it, which was what people would come for. Today, you yourself have said it's taking you 3 hours to go to Kalangut.
Yeah.
Why would I want to come to a place where I'm getting the same experience which I'll get in Bombay in terms of traffic?
Pune,
do I want to stay in that? So we have to see how we solve these bottlenecks. Cleanliness, we used to be probably the cleanest place in India. Today, while we still are, the advantage is decreasing on that. Then you have people harassing you, you have touts coming in. It's so like, you go on the beach, I hear that each guy runs a table. That guy tries to grab you for that business. You don't know what is sold. So all these things you have to address if you want to get things in order. And again, I'm not blaming the government only. There are stakeholders involved who might be doing this. But ultimately, the power to act lies with the government.
No, but these are legacy issues, no, which has come from time to time. They were not addressed, so that's why they have gone to such a
legacy issue. But there are opportunities to resolve certain things. Like today, we say, let's come to taxi issue that I don't want online. Now tomorrow, if I am into travel business, ticketing business. So tomorrow, when online started coming in, it affected our business. But then we have to evolve to survive, right? Okay. The logic is simple. You are in this business because you want to be. It's not that government you want to be doing business. Correct. Now, one more issue which government has to look into is, like especially in South Goa for our matter, you have this all taxi guys which are in traditional business for years together. Now they are getting old. Okay, next gen is not coming in because they are either abroad or they have taken other occupation. So there will be a dearth in the taxi business in next 3-4 years. Then what will do? So it is, talking
No,
about.
but equally the number of taxis have also
No,
increased.
no. In South, if in those outside thing, they don't allow any other outside guys to be there.
Yeah,
inside.
but overall, in
Overall,
Goa there is
it is not
increase.
increased to that extent. If you actually analyze it, I don't think so. It is increased to that extent.
And also when we, I have a complaint against TTAG and all you all is that when you all say ki taxis are not coming online, you are actually ignoring Goa Miles, you are ignoring Goa Taxi app where already there are taxis online. You can right now I can book a
I
taxi on
agree.
Goa
So
Mile
say
and
Goa
go.
Miles is there, but you have to understand Goa Miles cannot go any of the South Goa hotels inside to pick up the guests.
Yeah, that is the
No,
only catch
but
right
that
now.
itself. See what happens. The one thing we are, not looking into overall economy. What is happening is earlier, people used to come to Panjim as a shopping place. Now, of course, shopping is available everywhere. You had a product-based economy in Goa. Like people used to come for cashew nuts, or they used to come for liquor, or they used to come for some souvenir. Now that industry is as good as declined sharply. So overall, Goans are only getting affected. Why it's getting affected? Because if I have once I'm into the hotel, if I want to come out, I have to spend thousands of rupees just to come to one place and go. So one thing you have to realize that if you have to support the local economy, it is all this infrastructure or all these challenges has to be sorted out. Because
But when your
See,
concept
I
of
would
dynamic pricing,
yeah, I would just like to get back on that. You said about we not talking about taxis being
correct,
online.
yeah.
Now, the thing is, it's not something we are quite happy if the customer is happy. At the end of the day, we are happy. But if you see over the last 6 or 8 months, the first thing that people hit Goa on is on taxi. It's the easiest thing to blame, right? Now we are not even asking for pricing. We are saying, okay, you go by a notified rate. You don't reduce that rate. If a app comes in today or technology comes in, you go by the notified rate. Let the price be high like it's in Singapore, but let there be transparency. Now Goa Miles, yes, is it available easily everywhere? We are very happy Goa Miles. Besides the airport, you will not get it on the beach belt. Second thing with Goa Miles is, as a customer now, I want to do everything in 2 or 5 seconds. I book my flight like half an hour before I come, or not half an hour before, say one day before. I book my hotel 1 hour before. Sometimes I book it in the flight. So people are used to this. Now, if I want to go to, I'll give an example. I went to Jaipur for a travel meet. Right, I was used to book my taxi one day before earlier. Here I was booking it for 2 hours ahead because I was certain that he would come. Before it was not there. So there is a generation, our generation can still adjust to this. There's a generation which is coming in who wants it instantly. And if they don't get it, they're going to start screaming because they're used to comparing
You mean
online.
to say you don't get taxi Goa Miles on time?
You do not get it easily. Goa Miles comes, you can get it at the airport. Now, if you want to book a Goa Miles in Kalangut or Kandolim, I'm sure you won't get it easily. Right? In Panjim, you might get it, but there will be a lot of cancellations, is what we have heard. So we want this to be a seamless, this thing, at least so the customer doesn't talk back. We are reacting on customer feedback. We are not reacting on that we want technology only or taxi guys. If the guy is affecting Goa, then we have to obviously solve it.
One thing also which I found little hypocritic is that on one hand you all are saying that taxis are charging more, that's why tourists are not coming. That is one sentence statement.
No, let me correct that. We are not saying taxis are charging more. We are saying there is an issue with transparency in Prime.
No, yeah,
that
yeah.
is not available.
But
today I can book a hotel from here sitting. I can book a hotel and check in half an hour. Can you do it on Goa Miles today? You check if
See, I will tell you the challenges what we face. Now, other day I was talking to one of the bureaucrats or somebody. I said, if you want a taxi in Paris, I will willingly book for you from here and give it to you. But if I have to give a taxi to the customer in Goa, in particular area, I am reluctant to do as an operator because I don't know he is able to pick up passenger or not. Now, if you have that type of challenge, how you expect market to grow?
so these are these challenges which are there right now with the apps which are existing, don't you think will also continue when you introduce another app or you ask people to come online? Why would someone, I'm sitting right now with you at Miramar, either I go to a stand and get a taxi, which is easier for me, or why would someone, get a taxi here?
Because I think the new app guidelines looked at getting everyone involved and giving you a fixed notified rate below which you could not go down, which was a fair price. It was, I think, come with discussion with a lot of taxi operators.
So that means fares will be high. Actually, it
No,
will
so
double.
what we are talking
Fares
about,
will be high.
as President is saying, what we are talking about is transparency. We are not
No, transparency, of course.
No, so
I
basically
agree with
it
you,
boils
but
down
then
to that.
how-
Now, suppose if
how-
I am going to London, if I am going to take a cab from there, from the airport to Budapest, I know it is going to cost me £100. But I know
Absolutely.
it that transparency. Are we sure here that from one place, like if I have to go from Mopa to Konkan, if I have to pay 6,500, 7,000 rupees, the hotels industry there is collapsed. Who is going to, if hotel is charging
So
3,000
even
rupees?
if you have a transparency, you will have to pay that much only.
No, but you're not getting my point. But that is not actual price, no? When transparency comes in, then the actually kilometer wise,
Actual
like if
price
you are
is
talking
also
about
that much
60
right
kilometers, from north to south is say 60 kilometers. What are the rates? What is the rate if you are going to charge? Even if you are charging 50 rupees, it comes to 3,000 rupees.
No, your notified rates are much
No,
higher
50
than what
rupees
they are
I'm saying,
charged
it's
right
not
now.
higher than 50 rupees.
In some areas, yeah, but
Depending on the kind of vehicle you are talking about. So
No,
anyways,
yeah, okay.
this is one issue I think.
Yeah,
But
where
this is
correct.
never ending issue
this
and
is never
unless,
ending. We have seen discussion in the
Yeah,
assembly.
but I just like to state that we want transparency in price,
Transparency.
whatever. You fix a rate, you go with it.
Why, I have also heard that there is a phenomenon that in places like Arpora, a lot of restaurants are closing down. I heard some 20-25 restaurants are closing down. What is the reason? किद्याक लागून ती restaurant बंद जाता?
I think like this was a COVID-induced boom which came in all this North Goa places, wherein you saw that Goa was the easiest place to be. Like there was freedom, so people invested, put in money. But then maybe there was never so much demand. Like once the rest of the world opened up and Indians had the option to go elsewhere, that's my view. That this would come down. This would be difficult to sustain.
They must be your members also, no? TTAG
The restaurants we
members.
don't have.
Restaurant,
You don't
but
have, that's
what's happened, I'll
another
tell you. I think there's one place in Delhi which you may be aware of. There were a lot of restaurants.
House
House cars.
So
So from people from there have come here because they had challenges, their issues, there, everything. So it was easier for them to shift. Secondly, what happens is it has to be sustainable, right? Any business. So the pricing also, if you go to see, the pricing was quite high. Add to that is that if I have to go to that restaurant, as I tell you, that if I have to pay another some X money just to go there and come back, unless I have my own vehicle, something. So it adds to the overall economy. So when there is more players coming in, the competition will take over and the fittest will survive and people person who give value will survive. So that is one of the reasons. And in lighter note, I was told that if Delhi boy is not getting married or there, this is he puts up a restaurant here. Says Goa mein restaurant chalata hai, and he gets engaged there. So that is also a thing which is there in the
गोवा में रेस्टोरेंट
हाँ, तो गोवा में रेस्टोरेंट चला रहा है बेटा, गोवा में रेस्टोरेंट चला रहा है.
हांगा गोंयान कशी गव्हर्नमेंट जॉब
पंजाबी यूके पासपोर्ट दाखवून ब्राईड मिळवताली आता गोंयान रेस्टॉरंट
तो चलता है. So that is also there if you see, overall this thing. And overall, I think it is market forces will take over. It may be a transport business, or it may be a hotel business, or it may be a restaurant business. And we are fortunate city in Goa that people are coming into Goa. There is almost number of with 2 airports coming in. Last year, Mopa took in official figure is 4.7 million, and Dabolim took almost 6.8 million. So the market is growing, and I think with the airline also capacity growing in, now more number of hotels coming in, I think it will there. It's only challenge is the traditional hoteliers in Goa are suffering, which they have to find a way out to evolve themselves, little bit upgrade themselves, and look into the other market avenue also.
Lagi muito mãe, melo aqui três. Rasta पाऊस मरे.
जॉन बाब टायर झाल्या मरे ब्रेक आनी कशें लागतले
मुझे भाषे हड्डे झाले इथे.
हॉडी चेंज कर मरे
किती?
टायर चेंज कर मरे
कोणी चेंज केला बरं?
येच
Yokohama Tire Express.
होय योकोहामा टायर एक्सप्रेस सगळे टायर सोल्युशन एका जाग्यात. नवे टायर्स with 5 years unconditional warranty.
वाह
Magwheels,
वाह
tire change, tire service,
वाह
नायट्रोजन गॅस, wheel alignment and balancing,
अरे वा.
paperless billing आणि जायते. हे सगळे बेस्ट प्राइस आणि एक्सप्रेस सर्विस आहा.
आणि सारखी बटर आणि सर्व्हिस सारखी फास्ट मरे.
फास्ट नो एक्सप्रेस योकोहामा टायर एक्सप्रेस ऑपोजिट सनशाइन हॉस्पिटल आलेम हायवे मारगांव. आणि मग दोतरागे होत मरे.
होय.
So now if I talk to both of you, I find the picture is good. There are even figures say 500 crore people have already come to Goa in 6 months, and rest of the 6 months would be season time. So naturally we can expect 1 more crore to come. So it will be
No, it will not be that way, because when we are talking from January, which is a season time. January, February is a peak season time anyway. And now we have 2 months, which will be June, July, August will be quite low.
But you have November,
So, but that
December.
definitely will
Be more or less
cross,
same.
cross
Okay,
10
so
million.
my question is that when the entire picture is rosy, why is that tourism minister, tourism industry is often saying ki we have a competition from Sri Lanka, we have a competition from Vietnam, we have a competition from other countries, similar destinations.
Absolutely, we have competition. So that is the reason
For,
why.
for what? Are you like people are already coming?
See,
They are already existing.
No, even
they
if they
already
are coming,
existing.
see, we have to maintain, right? It doesn't mean because I have got the customer today, tomorrow I'll get it. It is ongoing process. So it is, you have to evolve yourself on regular basis, give value to the customer on regular basis. So like hotel, when they talk about, they are not talking only about weddings, they are talking about MICE also, they are talking about charter tourists also, they are talking about FIT also. So the mix only gets you the occupancy. So similarly, that mix needs to continue for Goa as a sustainable destination. So unless you are on your toes, because it is, as President, it is a perishable the industry as such. You have perishable rooms, you have perishable air tickets. So if you don't sell today, it is a loss to you.
So what we are also saying clearly is, see, there is a very famous quote by this guy who founded Intel, Andy Grove, which is said only the paranoid survive. It's another thing that Intel only also went for a toss today. But what we are trying to say is, today that same Indian customer who did not have options, Goa was his go-to destination, and Goa still has great advantages. It's 1 hour away from most metros, maximum 2 hours from Delhi, right? He's being targeted by everyone because they've seen his spend. You have Vietnam giving you have so many countries giving you visa on arrival, free visas, right? So he's got this choice to go somewhere at very competitive cost. So for Goa, for that, has to evolve. And like you said, if you don't solve issues when you can solve them, then you become uncompetitive, right? If I have to be fit, then it is a process. I can't get obese or I can't get overfit and then start again, or fat and start again, because so much more effort goes into it. So that's why, in view of this, we work with the tourism, with the government. We ask that certain legacy issues which are there, let's address them, and it's easier to address them rather than wait for it to become a chronic disease.
Okay, now another last question from my side actually is that there are when you say tourists, there are bifurcation. One is that you have got a lot of tourists creating nuisance around, cooking around. They come in their own vehicle. They don't contribute much to your exchequer. And there are tourists who want to be in 5-star hotels, star hotels, want to spend, want to enjoy. Now, number of tourists who are coming by road here has actually, are I think 80% than compared to 20% of other people are coming. My figures may be wrong, but largely people who come here are such kind of people. That's why you see lot of rush on the beaches.
So the thing is that, like I said, whether we like it or not, Goa has evolved over a number of years to have capacity which caters to a crowd. Maybe not someone who sleep on the road or someone who will litter the beach, whatever, but a budget traveler. Right? And we cannot say that we do not want this traveler, because the major pain points are being felt in these areas, the traditional. You see, out of the 7,000 odd hotels which are registered with tourism, there are someone who's a housewife running 4 rooms, someone running 6 rooms. So while we can say that she does not contribute to the exchequer, the tourist, she's keeping that household running. Right? Where we have our hotels only in Fontaine, there'll be 6-7 homestays or even 12. Their prices.
I'm not talking about homestays. My situation is that someone comes in a car, stays here in the car, goes back next day.
No, but
That is
how
an
many
issue.
are there? In fact, I think it is overblown, I feel. I don't find, have you seen that type of crowd much coming in? Frankly, it may be coming in, but it's not to that extent that it will affect the tourism per se. Now we have certain
No,
issues.
but your perception is getting up.
The perception is there. I'm not saying no, but I think that is not the case. How many people?
You're talking
you tell
about
me.
experience of tourists who are coming Goa.
I
is
agree,
getting
but that
affected.
comes in the seasonal, and that also now with the word around, it is quite reduced to drastically. Now that certain crowd which are coming in also, you find the stag. The casino industry is also flourishing. So when we talk about Goa as a overall economy, the casino also, the lot of crowd coming into that industry also. And if you see certain stacks coming in which are there at the beaches, everything, it is not only the crowd coming by the road, they are also coming by flights. Okay, so it is a mixed crowd, it is a mixed gambit of thing. But one thing is very that we have to be in our toes, we have to address our countries of the garbage issues, the roads which we see. There are so many of heritage side. We don't have good art gallery, which attracts. When we talk about we want high end tourists, it is not just talking will not help. We require to give them that type of value overall. The structure wherein you could start attracting, like what they have created in Fort Aguada. I think Jack will able to better explain. I think it is attracting one niche type of crowd, especially in particular type of seasonal where you have a high end.
For a different
every
experience.
experience. So certain things has to be valued, and it is to continue. And government cannot come into all. It is the private entrepreneur has to take a lead and do all this thing, and they will come if they find good value in overall Goan economy.
पळय टोपरी झुबली माणे सगळे हाडल्यात हां हे तांदूळ सामके पौष्टीक भुरग्याक बरे आणि हे मुगो तेल कालूच घेवन आयला दुकानांतल्यान.
मम्मा तू इतल्या पयसल्यान हें घेवन येयला?
मागीर म्हाका तुमची काळजी ना तर राव गो, हांव तुका कितें तरी खावपाक करता.
आगे
पळय गो. शी पाड पडू हांचे, कसलो सावार आयला देव जाणा. कितले आशेन हाडिल्ले हांवें सगळे.
मम्मा तू चड चिंतू नाका, राव हे पळय सगळ्यान शुद्ध पंचामृत जे दिता शुद्धता आणि पौष्टिकतेची हमी, आणि त्याच वांगडा ही वेगवेगळी शुद्ध तेलां आणि बरेच प्रोडक्ट्स
अशें
जशी आवयची माया जायना कमी, पंचामृता दिता शुद्धतेची हमी. सुपर एक्स्ट्रा लॉंग बासमती रायस, पंचामृता फोर्टिफाइड चक्की फ्रेश आटा, प्रीमियम लॉन्ग क्वालिटी बासमती राइस, Himalayan pink salt, variety of cold press oils, Panchamruta.
Okay, last, what is your advice to Goan influencers? How do they promote the destination, saying that okay, Goa is there is no decline in tourism?
See, I come from, I believe in a marketing thing is where you under promise and over deliver, right? So we should not overhype what is there on Goa, but wherever it is clear, we should put factual positions. And there is so much of Goa which is naturally beautiful, which still remains unique. So we have to push it out.
Are you also working on this kind of campaigns, influencers?
Yes. We are not TTAG as such has got its own promotion thing. We get genuine products out. We promote genuine Goan entrepreneurs and things and other stuff. We have our own page and our social media agency which does it, and I think the government also is pushing that out. But like you say that it's easier to sell bad news, and right now I think it's in a karmic cycle that Goa has to be pushed through this. We will come out of it.
I think Nilesh will be able to tell me better. How do we positively influence people to come here?
See, basically, the government is doing their bit of the promotions, everything, which needs to continue. There may be hundreds of debate, that they are overspending on marketing. See, but the marketing is the key to any product.
Yeah.
It has to be overall proper structure. That is a different issue altogether. Now, what you have to understand is there is a competition. Okay, so given the good facts and leave it to people to they find the value, they will come. And I'm sure if you project rightly, it will do this thing. I'll give one example. Let's talk about the casino trip, because they are the best marketers. In Goa, if you ask me personally, even he will agree, the way they project themselves means they are able to pull in the crowd, not project themselves. The way they are pulling into the crowd, that is to be admirable by any this, the amount of crowd which is coming in. looking into that, there was a peak problem in Sri Lanka, this somewhere in after COVID, wherein there was a attack in the parliament.
Yeah.
That time the airline guys, Sri Lankan Airlines, had come specifically to Goa to study the Goa model.
Okay.
Why Goa is able to get the tourists, everything. And if you see on the bank, we have those casinos boards, wherein Sri Lankan casino was projected and there was objection also.
Yeah, assembly.
So what I'm trying to say is the competition is there. And Goa is easy target because Goa is doing well. So let's be very, very clear. Goa is doing well, and to keeping doing well, we have to be on our toes. Of course, we have to have structural issues, as President just highlighted, and we have to actually resolve. Garbage is there, roads are that particular thing. Then we require to have some attraction where right now people are coming for 2 nights, 3 nights. How we can increase to 4 nights? So all those things which we need to work on, and try to come out with the policy wherein the entrepreneurs become easier in doing any events or any what to call the ease of doing business should be the focus for the government to attract more tourists into Goa.
So do you agree with what he's saying?
So the great thing about us being a democracy is we can have number of opinions.
Okay.
And while I respect Nilesh and I agree with his opinions to a large extent, when he talks about like casinos being the right crowd pullers in Goa, that is something that I would not fully agree on, that we should look at their marketing model on how to get in Goa. While they are licensed businesses, they've been there for 25, and we should respect anyone who has the right to be given a business license. I think Goa has plenty more to offer than just pulling in men for gambling or an experience on gambling, which compares nowhere to an experience you would get in the rest of the world. So I think that would be a wrong way to go on. I think it would be much better to project our natural beauty, our heritage. What makes Goa unique in the Indian context, and which has drawn in.
No, he was just telling you what explaining about the marketing strategies adopted.
Yeah, that Sri Lanka came and they put their hoardings and all. We can't do something similar in Sri Lanka to get people, right? So he's not mentioned specifically marketing strategies. He said that they get in people.
Oh, so what I'm trying to put in, as President just said, we have a different this thing. But what I'm trying to assess is the amount of the people they are able to way they market themselves, project themselves, and to get the crowd. That is different industry. That industry is good, bad. That is a separately. But as far as marketing is concerned, like if you ask any airline, I was just talking today, which I have reconfirmed, which I've been talking for quite some time. 30% of the flight capacity is filled by crowd coming from there. Hotels in a Panjim, they're getting crowd from there. That means marketing wise, forget about the product wise, everything, but marketing wise, they're doing something right, which is able to.
So I would rather look at a model like you've seen most 5 stars today are holding 80% occupancy, even in off season. There was a time in off season you would shut down in Goa. So they also must be doing something right to get that. Maybe
so everyone is doing right.
No, not everyone doing right. I've said where the pain points. I've clearly said second, 2, 3 star, 4 stars are suffering. With this huge influx of domestic tourists, there is a foreign market which is not coming in, which we have to cater for, and that is important how we get that down.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining.
Thank you.
बरे करू तुमचे actually नंबरा वेळ काढून तुम्ही आले in our studio. So Goa is doing well. That's what at least industry is saying. So when industry is saying Goa is doing well, so we have to believe them because they have facts, figures, and experience of doing well in Goa. पण बाकीचे जे आमचे थोडे हर्डल्स आसात ते काडचे पडटले आनी लिगसी इश्यूज जे आसा जेका लागून त्रास जातात ते सॉर्ट आउट करचे पडटले. तुम्ही पळयतात हब गजाली ऑन युअर फेवरेट चॅनल गोवा न्यूज हब. कीप वॉचिंग.